everyone. Good evening. Hi, Blanca. How are you? How you doing? I don't know how many people will probably be joining tonight. I think I may end up having a light group. I'm not sure. Hey, Norma. How are you? ¿Cómo está? Todo está bien aquí. I'm doing great and stuff. Hey, Tracy. How you doing? For today's embroidery happy hour. Hey, Miss Magic. How are you? From Indiana. I'm in Virginia. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? Hey, Charmaine. I'm going to wait a little bit because it looks like everybody's starting to chime in. So, and one of the things that I wanted to do for this happy hour is I wanted to talk about starting an embroidery business and share with you guys my experience of how I got into this and how I started the business and, how things are going, mistakes I've made, things I've learned, things that worked for me, things that didn't work for me, I wanted to share that because there's a young lady in our Facebook group that she announced that she's starting her own Etsy shop. And I think that is like so awesome. And I wanted to do this video, not just for her, but for anybody else in our group or anyone out there that is thinking about starting their own embroidery business and stuff. Hey, Jean. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Jennifer, Renee. So I'm going to get started, because people can always catch the replay. Replay is always out there, okay? So let me tell you guys how this whole adventure of mine started. About like 4 years ago, I bought a Cricut Explorer, right? And when I bought the Cricut Explorer, I have to admit that thing stayed in the box for a couple of months, okay? Because I really didn't know what to do with the machine. I knew I wanted it. I saw like commercials on TV about it and that you can do all these neat things. But then the time came where I actually opened the box and I started to actually mess with it. And I ended up liking it. So from the Cricut Explorer, I then upgraded to a Cricut Maker. And the difference between the two is the Cricut Maker was able to cut fabric and cut wood chips, right? And it was wireless and stuff. And that was really when I started to learn about sewing, okay? Because the Cricut Maker started to cut fabric. So I got curious about, well, if I'm going to cut fabric, I better learn how to sew. So I went and I bought a very basic sewing machine. And I started watching YouTube channels, and videos on how to sew little simple things, little pouches and little Coles Bosies. One of my favorites to watch, if you're not subscribed to her channel, I would highly recommend to do it because she has a really nice series about, how to do little simple Christmas gifts. It's the Crafty Gemini, Vanessa. And it's really because of her that I really got heavy into the sewing. So I started with a very basic machine, okay? And I have a video about all the machines that I owned, and I sold that one. And then from there, I went to the SE 1900 because I wanted a more fancier machine. Now, that machine is what taught me about embroidery. So then, with the Cricut machine, something that I forgot to mention was I started getting into the heat vinyl transfer, and I started doing like T-shirts and everything. Now, I love, I drive a Tesla and I love Teslas. So, I liked advertising the car, so I started making these little Tesla shirts, and then people started asking me to make shirts for them. But I kind of stopped that because, there's copyright, okay? And I did not want to get caught or get in trouble and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I just sold very little. And then I was just like, okay, I'm done. And at the same time, I'm going to be honest, I wanted to sell my own stuff. I want, because it's kind of like, yeah, you could make some money off of doing that. But first of all, it's not the right thing to do. You can get in trouble. And it didn't really feel good. It didn't feel good. I wanted to do something that was me. Okay. So I stopped that, and then I started doing embroidery, and I started buying designs. And when I would buy embroidery designs, I always look for designs that say that they don't mind that you use them for resales, you know. So that's really how I really started my whole journey in, wanting to start my own embroidery business, right? So is really when I got my SC 1900 and I started learning about embroidery and making little towels, and then embroidering little onesies, and then started doing birthday shirts and all that kind of stuff. So it was something that I really liked. And then I went and I created my own little Etsy shop. So I want to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned doing that, creating my own little Etsy shop, okay? And some stuff that you need to be thinking about. When I first started my Etsy shop, the first name that I used was Uniquely Transformed. Now, I liked Uniquely Transformed because I was thinking, oh, I'm taking unique things and I'm transforming them into items, right? But then, when I started doing embroidery, I just needed something more catchy. So that's when I came out and I said, okay, I'm going to start doing, hold on, sorry, I got to turn off this printer here. I guess I can't turn it off. All righty. I bought a simulation printer, sublimation printer. I don't know how to use it yet. It was just something that I got, but I'll tell you about that later on. So anyway, the hardest thing when you're starting your Etsy shop is to think about the name that you want for your shop. Some people come out and say it and have stuff like, made by, and then they put their name on it, and made with love by their name on it, or they want the shop to be associated with their name. I didn't want my shop associated with my name, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, I didn't want it associated with my name, and I didn't want it associated with any particular product. The reason why I didn't want it associated with my name is because if the shop does really well and my son or someone else in the family wants to take it over, it could easily just go and transfer to them. Okay, because if I put Jeanette's shop, I don't want them to have a Jeanette shop and inherit that. You know what I mean? So, and I also wanted to create a name where I'm not stuck to a particular product. Like I had a friend of mine who she was looking at naming her shop, and she was naming it a particular product. Okay, and it was a great name, and I knew that that was the product that she liked to make. But I didn't think that, one of the things I told her was, what about when you want to expand? What if, like you do so great in creating this product, but the thing is you want to add more to your inventory. People aren't going to think of your shop as a place for shirts. If you just say, you do blankets, right? What's going to happen is they're going to always hear your name and they're going to think, oh, she's associated with blankets, right? And then let's say you want to do blankets and hats and jackets and stuff, then it's like they're not going to think, oh, this store named Rosie Blankets doesn't sell jackets. They're going to automatically assume that. So, I kind of chose, first I started with Uniquely Transformed, but then my focus was really designing things for people. So that's when I decided to change the name of my business to Unique Designs for You. So I thought that was pretty neat, and I was like, okay, that's something that can travel, and it's something that we're taking unique designs, and we're really it's catering to the customer. Okay, so when you are starting your own Etsy shop, one of the things I highly recommend is think about the name and what vision do you have for this store? Do you see this as you just want it to be specific for a particular item and you don't want to expand to other products and stuff like that? Or is this something that, if you do want to expand it, make sure that you find a name that fits what you're trying to do, okay? And that vision that you have for that shop. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is your listings. When I started in Etsy, my listings are pretty sloppy, okay? And one of the things you got to realize is when you set up your shop in Etsy, your customers, that Etsy shop, what you show is what your customer sees. And that's how they're going to judge you and your product and your store. So I highly emphasize that. I know that it's a lot of admin work in the beginning, because you just want to sew. You just want to sew. You want to do your embroidery. You just want to create your product and sell it. But you do have to take the time to, look at the page, make sure that your pictures are clear, make sure that you are giving good descriptions of your items. Also, if you see other Etsy shops out there that sell items that are very close to what you're selling, read their descriptions, and sometimes you can kind of see how they word it, and get some tips from them. Also look at their pricing, okay? Because let's say you have a jacket that you want to sell embroidered. Look up jackets on Etsy and see what are other people charging. And the way I like to do it is I always look between the biggest price and the lowest price, and then I try to go in the middle. What works for me, my rule of thumb right now is as long as I can cover the cost of the materials used to create that product, then at least I broke even. And then, I know that some people will come out and say, well, Jeanette, you didn't count in your time. And you're right, I didn't. And, but right now I'm at a point where, I'm still working full time. So my goal is in 2026 is when I retire. So when I retire in 2026, I want this to be my full time. So, one of the things that I like to do is I like to make sure that all of my profits cover my expenses and that I'm not making too much of profit. Because you got to remember too, when you make a profit, you got to pay taxes. Okay. So the more profit you show in your shop, the more taxes you're going to be paying. So right now, I don't mind operating at a loss because I consider this time as my time to really learn the craft, learn about operating a business, be able to get all of the equipment that I need in order to create my products and all that kind of stuff. So, make sure that your listings are clear. Your photos are very, very important. I was taking my iPhone and I was just, decorating the table and putting the item there and then taking my iPhone and just snapping a picture of it. That's okay to do, but the thing is you don't really get a really good lighting of your product. So what I just did was I bought a light box where it has some LED lights. They have lots of different light boxes on Amazon. I highly recommend doing that. You don't have to buy a super expensive one. Just get one big enough that you can take a picture of your item. I think at the last week I showed a picture of a backdrop that I purchased that looked like wood. I just used that. I put it inside the light box. I put my towel on it. I turn on the LED lights and then I just snap the picture and it comes out a lot brighter and it looks so much better. So right now I'm in the process of updating all the photos in my shop. So, when you are setting up the Etsy shop, I strongly recommend it. You got to do the admin work. Think of the name of the shop, think about your listings, take your time. Make sure you write a good description of it. Make sure you take good pictures of it. Now, Etsy even lets you put a little video inside the listing. If you get a chance to take a video while you're making the item, I think that would be really cool. You don't have to put a half-hour video, but, just put just about 10, 15 seconds of your embroidery machine, just knocking it out. And I think that would be really cool, and then, you know, I think that, it just shows, the more you put into your listing, I think the better. They also have something called tags on the listing. Okay. There are like 13 different tags that you can put. Now, a tag is what, if someone was to search for an item, and like, let's say they say personalized dinner napkins, or cloth dinner napkins. When I list my dinner napkins in Etsy, I use several of those tags. I put personalized dinner napkins, cloth dinner napkins, embroidered napkins. They, words or phrases that I think that people would use if they were trying to look for that particular product. So you want to be able to use all 13 of those tags and stuff. So you want to be as thorough as possible. Now, I'm going to be honest, me personally, I kind of hate that part. I like to make my stuff. That's what I like to do. I like to turn on my sewing machine, and I can sit there all day, and I can create dinner napkins, create kitchen towels, and all that kind of stuff. I really do kind of hate creating the listings and bothering with the administration part of the shop. I tried to get my husband and my son into it to see if they could do that part of it, but I didn't have luck. So I'm on my own with that. So I'm like, okay, but it is what it is, So, some of the things, let me see. What else did I want to, oh yeah. I wanted to talk to you about also, think about your equipment and your supplies. You know, think about what you need when you're creating your items. There was a friend of mine that he came out and he said, sometimes the products, they kind of come out with what you have. Like if you have a cheap machine, or you use really cheap thread and stuff like that, sometimes it can kind of come in your product, kind of looks a little cheesy in a way. Now, I'm going to tell you up front, I don't really use the expensive brands. I like to save money wherever I can. And I don't think my stuff really comes out kind of cheesy or anything like that. But I'm just saying, just be mindful when you're looking at your stuff, when you're making it, does it look good, and stuff. And, sometimes we can be our own worst critic also. So it's just something, that I just want to throw out there. Be mindful of the supplies that you get and your equipment, and keep track of everything, all your expenses. I use QuickBooks. In the beginning, I wasn't doing that. I was using like an Excel spreadsheet, and then I used Quicken for my personal budget. So what I started doing was every time I spent money, I started putting like a little note saying this is business, this is personal. But then I broke down and I just said, okay, fine, I'm getting QuickBooks. So now I'm using QuickBooks Self-Employed, and it does make it a lot easier. It really does. Etsy works really well with it. So I have QuickBooks in order for me to monitor all of my expenses. So whenever I go to Joann's and I buy fabrics, or I go to Walmart and I buy stuff for the store that, I'm going to embroider so I can try to sell, I always make sure that I pay for business expenses separate from my personal expenses. And then I take a picture of my receipt and I put it up in QuickBooks. And then I just, keep everything separate and stuff. Mileage, whenever I'm driving somewhere, I put it in QuickBooks, because that's tax deductible too. The room that I'm using in my house, that's tax deductible too, because it is a bedroom, but it's a bedroom that I'm using strictly for my Etsy shop. I don't use it for anything else. Nobody sleeps here or anything. So to be honest, if the IRS wanted to come and check it out, they can, because they'll quickly see that this is just something that I totally use strictly for the shop. So I think I'm jumping all over the place and stuff, but I just wanted to, I wrote down all my stuff like always. I just don't want to miss stuff because sometimes the hour goes by so fast. Oh, there is something too that I also wanted to mention everybody about, when you're starting your own embroidery business, okay? And I think this is really, really important. I think one of the things that really does help me is that I join a lot of groups. There are plenty of groups out there on Facebook. And also, it's a great opportunity for you to network with other people. One of the things that I had wanted to do, but then the virus hit, and when the virus hit, there went that. They sometimes have these little events, embroidery events, where they have all these folks come together, and they have people that sell thread, there are people that sell different types of embroidery software. It's like a conference, right? And they have like Brilliances out there, Soul Pros out there. They have all these companies out there and vendors and everything, and you could take classes. And I was signing up for one, and I think it was in Georgia. I don't remember the name of the event, but I wanted so bad to go, and then they canceled it because of the virus. And if I remember correctly, I think the event was supposed to happen sometime in April or March, around there. And I think, those are really good places for you to go. So that way you can meet people, you can talk to people that have been in the business for a very long time, and you can, pick their brain and ask them like what worked for them, what didn't work for them, and stuff like that. So, building your network is really, really important. And, you'd be surprised. A lot of people are willing to help other people. I know they are jerks out there too. There's people out there that sometimes, you ask them for help, and they kind of like take it like, oh, you're going to be my competition. It is what it is. But then there are some people out there that are really, really nice, and they have no problem sharing the knowledge and all that kind of stuff, which I think is like really cool. So, find your niche, and I say go out there and ask. You never know. There might be somebody that may want to take you under their wing and help teach you the ropes and all that kind of stuff. So, me personally, I haven't really found anybody, so honestly, but I just do my own thing. That's how I just look at it. I just do my own thing. Me personally, this started as a hobby. I know a lot of people that I have worked with in the past that have retired, and the next thing you know, it's like they retired, and then the next week they show back up in the office. You're like, what happened? You retired? They're like, well, I was bored. I didn't want that to happen to me, so I was like, okay, I really love to sew and embroider, so I'm going to turn this into like a little part-time business, so that way I can have fun. And then I kind of thought I'll start the YouTube channel so that way I can teach people, or share what I discover on this. So, it's just something that, something for you guys to think about. So, I kind of like started off, I already told you, how my whole journey started with the Explorer, and from the Explorer went to the Maker. I went to the HC 1850, from the HC 1850, I got my SC 1900. This one, now I'm on to that one, but this is my favorite, and I'm going to continue to make more videos on this one. I have done Etsy. I know that they have Amazon Handmade also. I have not tried the other avenues. I know some people go to eBay also, and they sell products there too. I'm not saying don't do it. I mean, it's just me. I just personally haven't been able to do it. I just been strictly Etsy. I kind of like it. It seems to be worked. It works for me. It's simple. There have been times too that one of the things that I learned about with the Etsy is sometimes there have been months where I get all these sales, and then I have months that I have no sales. Like now it's been really, really slow, right? But the way I see it is, Thanksgiving's around the corner, and after Thanksgiving, that's when people are going to start to buy. And to be honest, with the virus and everything that's going on, not a lot of people are going to want to go out to the malls. So a lot of people are probably going to do online shopping, and then they're going to want to probably look for very unique items. And I think maybe the Etsy shops will start to pick up around right after Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So whenever I have a time in my store where I see that the shop, like right now, that things are very, very slow, that is the perfect opportunity for me to relook at all of my listings and see all the items that I offer, see if I should take better pictures, see if I should update the listings, see what other products I can offer out there. So like now I'm making more kitchen towels and stuff. And then I went to Walmart and then I bought a whole bunch of stockings because, Christmas is coming. So I started making stockings, and then I started to see, can I embroider these stockings? Now, while I was embroidering these stockings, I did this on the multi-needle, but I was thinking about folks that have single needle machines, right? Because I was like, all right, how would they be able to do this? And this is a little tip for you guys. If you have a single needle machine and you want to do embroidery like this, because I got this. Look, this one I did with the knockdown stitches, because I know a lot of people in the Facebooks were talking about the knockdown stitches, and this came out really nice because it's very plush, right? I did one for my dog, did one for my son, did one for my husband, and I got to do one for me. So, one of the things that I noticed too is with these things, remember on the single needle machine, they're flatbed, right? So if you were to take this, and I would say, I would cut this on the side so that way you can open it and then embroider it and then resew it. That's how I would do it, so it's just something for you guys to think about, because these are really cute, and Christmas is coming, and I kind of told my husband this year we are really going to, I want to celebrate Christmas at home. I really do. I want to put up the tree. I want to decorate the house. I want to put up lights this year. Usually we don't do that, and then I kind of regret it because then it's kind of gloomy. But this year, because we're stuck at home, I want to make the best of it. So I figured, let me make some stockings for us. And then if they come out really nice, maybe I can put them on the Etsy shop. And then the extra stockings that I bought, I can probably, sell them. So I only bought a handful. I didn't buy a lot. And that's the other thing too. Watch your supplies. When you have a shop, a lot of times what happens, and this happens to me, and well, it did happen to me, okay? I end up with a lot of blank shirts. And then and the thing is you end up, you buying these bulks, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm going to make this shirt and I'm going to sell them. And, but then what happens is, clothes is kind of tricky because, you got the different sizes, you got different color shirts. And, sometimes people say, I want a white shirt, I want a gray shirt, I want a black shirt. I'm a size small, extra small, medium. They ask you a bunch of questions about the sizes and everything. Next thing you know, you end up with a whole bunch of shirts in your closet, which is kind of like what I have. I have a whole bunch of shirts and stuff. But what I usually do is with the shirts is I'll give them out as gifts. Like if I have a friend that's going to have a birthday coming up, then what I'll do is I'll make them a birthday shirt. Like I had a girlfriend of mine, she turned 60. And I just grabbed one of the shirts and I did a really cute, it's my birthday 60 shirt. I mean, it won't go to waste. I mean, you'll always find you're always going to have to give a gift to somebody, right? So you might as well make it and you give it to them, So let's see, what else did I want to mention about, I wanted to. Let me talk to you also about some of the issues that I sometimes have. Some of my mistakes. Okay. Inventory. When I buy too much, when I should be slowing down. Okay. I mean, I've got bobbins that'll probably last me for 5 years. As you can see behind me, I have all those threads of whites and blacks, and I probably won't be buying for another 5 years anymore black or white thread. Okay. Sometimes just buy as you need. You can go crazy and stuff. Another thing, mistake that I've made, that I think you guys need to watch out for is, watch your budget. Really, it's not that I made a mistake. I mean, I'm fine with it, but the thing is, sometimes I think about all the extra items that I bought that I really didn't need. You know, make sure you keep track of what you're spending, and just take your time. Take your time. Don't rush or anything like that, because the one thing with embroidery is expensive. A lot of people, they don't realize that. They think, oh, thread's cheap and stuff like that. Well, that's not true. I mean, embroidery can be a very, very expensive hobby. Okay, it does sometimes start off cheap, and to me, sometimes I don't even think it really does, because think about it: the cost of the machine, you already spent a couple hundred there. If you got the SC 1900, you probably already spent $1,000. Then you're going to be spending a lot of money on thread. Then you got the different types of stabilizers that come in. Then you got to buy your designs. Then what if you want to create your own designs, right? Then that means that you have to learn how to digitize. You got to buy the software. Okay, so everything quickly starts to climb up the cost. And usually what I do in my Etsy shop is trying to sell the stuff so that way I can cover all those costs. So a lot of, right now I'm always at that break even point, where I'm just like, my expenses are just a little bit above the profit. And I kind of like to keep it that way. But sometimes I will say, sometimes I kind of wish that the profit went a little higher, so that way I'd be like, oh, I'm doing good, But I think a lot of it also has to do because I don't have the time that it's not, I can't do it full time. I work full time. So, Monday through Friday, I'm kind of like off the grid, because I gotta work, at my full-time job. When I get off, then it's like I can then, shut off my computer from my day job, and then I can dive into looking at my Etsy shop, answering customer emails, do my YouTube channels, fill any orders that I have and all that stuff. So, it's hard. It is hard. And I will say I get tired. I do get tired. Like my energy is kind of low. Even before I started happy hour, I was like, I need a cup of cappuccino because I need my energy. I really need it. I got to keep going. So, it's a lot of hard work when you are trying to start off your own embroidery business, because it's like you gotta figure out what you want to sell. You got to figure out, what people want. Sometimes what you want to sell also is not exactly what people want from you. I do have a lot of folks that do come to me, and they know that I do embroidery and stuff like that. And they're like, well, I don't want something that's from your Etsy shop. I want you to do something custom. And, it's like some people come out and say, well, I just want to sell when I want to sell. Well, yeah, you can do that. But the thing is, I kind of look at it as, it's kind of like a challenge. Like, think about it. The guy with the flooring with his 36 shirts, I just wanted to sell kitchen towels and all that kind of stuff. And he came and said, hey, can you make a shirt for me? It was terrible in the beginning because I had so much to learn about the shirts and the stabilizers and all that kind of stuff. But it ended up benefiting me in the end because now I know how to make those shirts golden. I know how to work with that material. I knew about the right stabilizer and everything. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have learned. So you have to be flexible. Now, I do have a lot of customers that do come to me and they're like, hey, can you do a logo for me? I don't do digitizing. And sometimes I try to reach out to people and say, hey, can you digitize a file for me? I have not met or had the experience of meeting someone that can really digitize very well, and I've paid for files and I've asked them to digitize it. And when they give it back to me, it's kind of like, this isn't going to work. But, I just leave it alone because I figured, well, they did work, and, I know I guess because I learned a little bit about what goes into digitizing, I know that it is a skill set. It's really a big skill set. It is not easy to digitize a file. You know, what I mean, you got someone that is actually sitting in their computer and they are designing every single stitch. So, you know, I know how complex it can be. So, you know, but I have not, you know, been able to get in contact with a good digitizer. So a lot of times when folks come to me with a certain design, even people through my Etsy shop, sometimes they'll email me and they'll say, "Hey, I want a dinner napkin, but I want it, you know, looking like this." A lot of times those orders I have to turn them down because I'm kind of like, I don't do digitizing, and unless you can bring me the file that's already an embroidery file, I can't help, you know. So you know, that's just how it works for me right now and stuff. Um, so I don't know if the information I'm giving is kind of helpful. I hope it is. You know, I started my Etsy shop. It's going on year 2. Um, I do okay. You know, I mean, I make a lot of sales. Like I said, the first year it was mostly me making T-shirts, doing heat vinyl transfer. Then I stopped doing that. I mean, I still have items out there, but I like to focus more on the embroidery. And I will say this though, when someone purchases an item from me that I embroider, I love it because it's like, oh, they like what I made, you know, like somebody actually likes what I designed, you know. A lot of times what I do is you know, I try to make my items as unique as possible. And that's another thing. See what other shops are selling. And look at their sales and see, are people buying those products? And if they are, see if it's something that you can take and put your own little flavor to it. Like one of the things that I do too is I like to search different embroidery websites that sell the embroidery files. And one of the things that I love is in Brilliance, I can cut and paste little portions of different files and I can try to put them together. Like if I'm doing a birthday shirt for someone, you know, I'll put like a number 6 or whatever their number is. And then like, let's say if I have a design and it has a picture of a cute mouse, I can cut out the mouse from that design, put it in with the number 6, and then put little different fonts. And if I see stars or something from another design, I'll cut it off of that design and put it together with the little mouse and the number. You know, and you can make your own little stuff. So it's like, you know, it is, you know, you kind of you get to play with it, and you just got to create your own little stuff. And the thing is, there's just so many you can do, you know, like right now the birthday shirts are great, but I just feel like they're so saturated, you know, like everybody's doing birthday shirts, you know. I mean, you go on Etsy and you type up birthday shirts, there's so many. I mean, people are doing it with vinyl, people are doing it with sublimation, people are doing it in embroidery. So it, to me, it's just something that is, it's saturated. It's like, you know, I want to try to go for something unique. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, get little ideas, but, you know, try to find something that will make you very different from the others. You know, like for me, you know, I like to do the kitchen towels. I really do. I like the personalization of the kitchen towels. One of the things that I feel is that there are not a lot of kitchen towels out there for you know, the Hispanic community, you know. So I like to put, you know, one of my best sellers out there is La Cocina de Abuela, you know, which is the kitchen, you know, grandma's kitchen. So I like to do it in Spanish, and a lot of people are like, oh, you know, this is a cute little design. It says La Cocina de Abuela. And then I also put like La Cocina de, and then I can put their name, you know, like I did one for my cousin Elizabeth. And then I'll you know, put whatever his name. I did one for Christmas, and I just added that to my Etsy shop. I did a really cute wreath, and I put the initial, and I did Feliz Navidad, which is Merry Christmas in Spanish, and I put Familia Nora, which is my aunt, and but I can put Familia whoever, Hernandez, Rodriguez, Rivera, whoever, So I just like to do things unique, take little pictures, make little designs. I love the kitchen towels. I love doing those because they're very simple to make. I can do them on the big machine. I can do them on the small machine, just like the dinner napkins. Those are easy items because they're flat. When you have items that are similar to like this, it's not that they're hard, it's just that you really have to know how to manipulate the item underneath the machine, and you have to figure out how to get it flat. Like another thing you can do, I guess, is you can float it. You can just fold it like that and then float it and then just tape it down on your machine, so that way you have this flat. And you just got to watch it and make sure that, these don't curve and, they don't get, embroidered on. It just makes it a little harder. I'm just one of those folks that I just kind of like the easy way. Jean jackets. Jean jackets is another thing. Winter's coming, jean jackets and stuff. I'm going to be embroidering a jean jacket that I bought from my cousin Betty. She's all into owls. I just haven't found the right owl yet. I'm going to embroider that. I'll probably do it on the big machine though, because it's heavy and I need to get needles, because I know I could use a 7511 on a jean jacket, but I'm going to go to the sewing shop and I want to make sure, because that jean jacket is pretty tough, so I may need a other type of needle and stuff. So I'm going to go over to the chat room and see if there are questions and stuff. And if anybody has, do you need a Cricut machine for actually starting? No, Kendall, no, not for embroidery. I just mentioned that because that was just how I started. That's how I got into all this stuff that you see behind me. That was my introduction to the world of DIY. I went and I got the Cricut Explorer, and then that's when I learned it, and then I started to progress and stuff. So it just depends on what it is that you want to do. If you want to do a heat vinyl transfer, then yeah, I would recommend getting like a Cricut machine. They also have another one called the Silhouette. I think they have something called a Brother and Scan too. There's so many different ones. I personally like the Cricut because that's what I'm used to. I know my cousin Tracy has Silhouette. She uses that. Now these cut machines are very, very easy to use. They are not hard at all. And I'm going to post some videos on how I do them. I have an order of some shirts, and I'm going to do heat vinyl transfer on them. So I'm going to videotape how I do that, so that people can learn how to do that. It just depends on what it is that you want to do. Okay. Love Crafty. Yeah, I love her, Sherman. The Crafty Gemini is very, very good. I mean, she is the one that really taught me how to sew. I think that lady is so awesome. And I would love to go. I think she's located in Gainesville, Florida. And I think she has her own store. And I would love to go there one day and drive out there and meet her in person, and just say thank you. Because, I mean, she's awesome. So if you guys have not checked out her channel, I highly recommend it, because she's really, really good and stuff. I love the way she teaches and stuff. Hey, Grace. Hey, Robin. You should watch a Dumb's production and the baby's booty. Yes. Okay. I have watched them both, and I love the baby's booty. Eve is really, really nice. Baby booty is, her name is Eve, and she's really, really good. She talks a lot about embroidery and how she started her business and stuff. I was watching her a lot before I started to think about starting my own embroidery business. She gives a lot of good tips and stuff. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Hey, sewing. Hey, Miss Miles. Rosanna. Have you ever used polyester embroidery? Oh, Polystar. Polystar embroidery. No, I have not used that one. I've used the thread that I've always used is the Sim thread, the Brother thread, the Silky, and also because you mentioned thread, Miss Miles, I was reading up on metallic thread, and I found out that they sell metallic needles, metallic embroidery needles. I heard, and I think some of the folks posted it on Facebook that when they're using metallic bread, when they're using metallic thread, that it breaks. Okay. I read that there is a special needle for that thread. So now I'm very, very curious, and I'm thinking about buying metallic thread and getting those needles just to see, and then try it without it, and then try it with the needle just to see if that works. So just wanted to mention that to you guys. I was wondering where your four-legged baby was, but I just heard him. Hey, Mr. Well, he is downstairs and he is growing. Mello is 52 pounds. So when I first got him, he was 13 and he's only 5 months. So I'll have him do a little cameo maybe next week and stuff. But he's a handful. He really is. But I am so happy that he's part of our lives. I mean, he's awesome. I love having a dog. I think they're like awesome. Yes, he is big. Hey, Stampin' Sue Creates, how you doing? Oh, and also I wanted to say something before I forget. One of the things, my husband, sometimes he likes to watch the channel while I do a live. And one of the things that he told me was, about the chat room. And he mentioned that while I talk, he said sometimes there's questions that come up in the chat room, and that folks always seem to always chime in and help. And I think that is so, so awesome. And it makes me happy to know that that is happening, because one of the reasons that I wanted to do the Facebook group and the reason why I wanted to start this YouTube channel is because I wanted to have a community where everyone helps everybody out. I wanted it to be a place where we can learn from each other. So, when he had mentioned that, I was kind of like, really? And then I went back and I watched it, and I saw how some of you guys are helping each other. And I just think that is just so awesome. And I am so I don't know, so happy about that, and stuff. Because I think that's so great, So I just wanted to say thank you to all you guys, because, a lot of you guys, I know you guys faithfully always chime in every Friday, at 8 o'clock, so we can talk and just share ideas. And, I just love that you guys are interacting with each other, and you guys are helping each other and supporting one another. So I think that is just so cool, so I just really wanted to say that, to you guys. You gotta love what you do. Yes, Stampin' Sue Create. She is so right. And it is, and you know what? And she brings up a really good point. I mean, and I think that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, really. I love learning how to sew. I love embroidering. I love making things. It just takes you to a whole other world. And it is true. I mean, she's right. If you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. I will say my job, my full-time job, it does kind of feel like work, and I used to love what I did. But I think what it is I'm just burnt out, got 5 years left, gonna retire, whatever. Even though, I love those guys and I like doing it, but it's you get to a point where you just want to do something different with your life, So I guess I'm just there, and I'm really grateful because I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for that lady, Vanessa, the crafty Gemini, and and E from the Baby Booty, teaching and having their channels and stuff like that, it kind of helped me discover what I like, and it's pretty cool. And I like it because I like to make things. And, sometimes it can get frustrating because you get your little mistakes and then you're kind of like pissed off. You're kind of like, oh, I messed up. And I'm starting to learn more now about different designs that I buy, like embroidery designs. Pay attention to the stitch count. I have made a couple of towels because I bought designs and the stitch count was very high. And the reason, and the higher the stitch count, the longer it takes to stitch it out, and also the more dense it is. So, as I keep doing different things, I'm learning, and I'm still in the learning stage, and I know I got a lot to learn still. But one of the things that I do like is to share what I do know so far, and when I discover new stuff. So, but she is right. You have to love what you do. You really do, and stuff. See, post pics on Facebook, tell people they're interested, and they order. Yes, and another thing too. We started the Facebook group, right? If you started your own Etsy shop or your own business or something like that, post the links, so because the thing is, let's say you make a particular product, right? And if I know of someone that wants to buy it, I'll share that link. So that way you can get a customer and stuff like that. So, I know some groups out there, they don't like it when you post advertisements or whatever. I don't care, because to me, this is about you guys teaching stuff. I want you guys to support each other. There is also a young man that I know. He's a neighbor's son of mine. He does this beautiful artwork, and I am trying to get him to start his own t-shirt business and stuff. He just likes to draw. I could just tell. It's like, and I was talking to him, he seems interested, but his whole thing is the artist part of it. But I know I'm going to get to him and stuff and everything. So he does beautiful stuff out there. So you probably are going to see me really soon, because I'm going to try to push that young man. I see the potential in him so much. So I think he could just do awesome stuff. So, so Winston, if you are out there, I don't think I forgot about you, because I sure didn't, because and I thought about you when I got my sublimation printer, because he has this beautiful artwork. And I could just see that on those shirts. And I think I'm going to try his artwork on that new printer that I bought. And I think it's going to come out really good. So sublimation is the next thing that I'm now exploring, guys. I went and I got a sublimation printer. I have not even done the first print yet, but I just got it together, and I'm going to try to see what I can do with that machine. See, that's what's dangerous about this craft stuff, right? It's like, I started with the Cricut Explorer, then I got the Cricut Maker, then I ended up with a heat press, and then with a sewing machine, then I ended up with another sewing machine, and I ended up with this baby. So it's it creeps up on you. So it's just something, but it's all good stuff. It's okay. Let me see if there anything else out there. I plan on investing on an embroidery machine. Oh, Gonzalez. I'm glad you like the videos and stuff. Love your ideas. Oh, I'm glad. Jeanette, the stockings look great. Oh, thank you. Do you use pre-warmed bobbins? Yes, I use pre-warmed bobbins. This smiles. I do not wind my own bobbins. The reason why is two reasons. When you wind your own bobbins, I don't feel that, me personally, when I do it, it just doesn't work for me. It's not tight. And I feel like when you buy the pre-wine, they are tightly wounded and they really do last a lot longer. So I just prefer to buy them, and it just works for me. I just think they're better and stuff. Let's see. Yep, and Stampin' Sue Creates is right too. You can go and you can buy the fabric. These I'm sure this is not hard to make if you really think about it. I mean, what you could do is buy one, go to the dollar store, just buy a cheap one, trace it out, just trace it, cut it, cut your fabric, sew it together, wrong side, and do a little, cuff. And then you can embroider the cuff before you sew it together, maybe I'll do a video. Maybe I'll try that myself and do the video, and then I'll just do the whole video from start to finish. So if I screw up, you'll see the screw up, and then you'll go, "Ooh, Jeanette screwed that up. I'm not gonna do what she did," because this is not hard to make. And I think she's got a good point. If you have the single needle machine, it's probably easier for you to create your own stocking than for you to buy them pre-made, because it's going to be harder for you to get these underneath your single needle. Now, another thing also that you can do is instead of embroidering right on here, you can also just embroider a patch. Take a piece of felt, put the person's name on it, cut it out, and then you can just do a heat and bond behind the patch and iron it on. Something else you can do, just little ideas. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do stockings and stuff like that. So, but she's right. You can sew your own. These are not hard to make. I mean, they can't, and I don't think they are. I mean, you just got to cut them out right. That's all and stuff. Whole bunch of shirts equal time for markdown sales. Yeah. Jeanette, did you check your machine stitch count? Yes, I did. Okay, I got 4 million. I got 4 million stitch counts on the big machine, and then I got 6 million on my small machine. That's a lot of stitches. So I definitely am going to need to take this machine to the sewing shop in order to get it maintained. I have had this machine now. I'm going on 2 years. I have not had a service yet. And I got to be honest, I remember it's just that it's hard to like drop it off, because you get attached to these machines. So it's like, you take it there, and it's like you want them to fix it right then and there so you could just bring it back home with you. To leave it there, it's kind of like, I got to get over that. Okay, so I know I got to go this Saturday and ask them, when can I bring it in? I'm just afraid of bringing it in and then like it stays there for like a very long time. I just, you get attached to these machines. I don't know what it is. It's just, I'm just going to have to get over it. That's all. I'm just going to have to. But Sue Creates, yep, that's my stitch count. It's a high one. Let's see. I would like to cut and paste the design as well. Okay, well, you know what? And another thing, I know a lot of you guys have had a lot of questions about how to use Embrilliance. I have been trying to do new designs for my kitchen towels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start videotaping myself as I'm using Embrilliance so that you can see how I take certain designs and I modify them. They're very, easy. There was one design. Got it. I'm going to bring it right here. Hold on 1 minute. Hope I have it right here. Yes, here it is. There is a design that was out there on a website, and it was really, really cute. But I wanted to personalize it. So what I did was I found out how to break a design so that you can add it. Now, when I bought this design, the way that it was that it did not have my last name on it. It just, this right here was not. This was higher. And it just had Christmas Cookie Crew lead baker. And it didn't have anything. But I was like, I would like to see if I can put these on the shop and sell them personalized. And then maybe some people would like it if they, if I put mommy, daddy, and then the kids' names on them. So, what I did was I broke the design so that I could include my name. So I would like to show you guys how to do that because it's pretty neat. It's not hard once you have the design up on Embrilliance. There is a way that you can modify certain designs so that you can personalize them and make them your own. So as I start to do my next set of towels and everything, I'm going to make sure I put the camera facing my computer so that way you guys can see how I break these designs up and how I manipulate them, because that way you guys can go ahead and start doing your stuff too. Okay, so I'm definitely will make more videos on that and stuff. Let me see. Let's see. Where do you buy? Oh, somebody asked. Where? Oh God. Okay. Sorry guys. I have messed up here. Hey Wanda. Hey Harmony. Hello. I'm new to your channel. Thanks for all the useful info. You're welcome, Harmony. Anytime. I'm here to help. There was somebody here that was asking something about thread, and I just missed it. You're gonna love the sublimation printer. Oh, from Johnny. Oh, well, I hope so. I don't know how to work that sucker yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. I bought paper and I bought some tumblers. So I was thinking I could do tumblers for my friends this year. So I don't know. We'll see and stuff. D-Bro, shout out. Working on him too. Yeah, D-Bro, I'm telling you, we got to get Winston on the game and stuff. I could see him making it big and stuff. That's the proud daddy of Winston. And let me tell you, that guy, I mean, me and my husband were talking about it. I mean, the artwork is just amazing. And he is in high school right now. And I could just, he floored me. His artwork floored me. This young man has a gift and I could just see it. I mean, wow. It's just, I just don't know what to say. I would be all over that kid. I really would. I mean, I'm telling you, he's good. He's really, really good. Let's see. Somebody says they want to try it too. Yep. Definitely. Separation anxiety to your machine. Yeah, it is. Sue Creates is right. I do have separation anxiety with all my machines because I'm gonna be honest. This is my zone. I like this place. And a lot of my friends, sometimes they'll call me, they'll say, hey, Jeanette, you want to go to movies? You want to go here? You want to go there? And I'm kind of like, no. Because, I mean, it's funny because they kind of like, let's get you out of that room. But one of the things they don't realize is I love my room. I like making stuff. I just do. I don't know. It's my zen. This is like my little zen room. This is where I like it, I mean, to me it's my place, it's my happy place and stuff. So I just love it here. Those are her babies. Yes, Gonzalez, they are my babies and stuff. Does anyone know about my editor? I never heard of that, Sarah. I never heard about my editor. I have heard of So What Pro, and I've heard about the Embrilliance, and I know there's got to be others out there. But see, the thing is, I have a Mac, and Embrilliance works on a Mac, and I know that So What Pro and all those other ones, they work on Windows machines, and I'm just an Apple girl, so Oh, and Blanca, yep, Blanca always reminds me. Oh, and it's 9 o'clock too. Yeah. So, guys, I mean, I tried my best this time. I think that I could have given you guys more info and stuff. I was trying my best to really try to give you ideas. I got so excited when I saw on Facebook that that young lady decided that she wanted to start her own Etsy shop. And I just think that's just so awesome. And, I just hope that, it inspires other people. If that's something that you want to do, to just go for it. Just do it. Go for it. What's the worst thing that can happen? You don't get a sale. So you had fun with it. Right. So, I mean, so I wanted to just share my experience of what I've done. And, as always, if you guys need help with anything, please email me. You can leave a comment below. I try to always respond to all the comments that you guys leave. If you need help, need advice, if you guys are stuck, join the Facebook group also, because one of the things that I really like about the Facebook group is that, if you have an issue, if I can't help you, maybe somebody else can. Because like I said, the whole thing is, to me, it's just building a community where everybody can just help everybody, and we all love doing this stuff. And I just like to share. So, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I kind of really love doing these embroidery happy hours every Friday. Sometimes, I feel a little like, what, but then once I get into it and I start talking to you guys about, what I've done, what I'm doing, things I've learned and all that kind of stuff, it feels good. It just feels good. And I will say, you guys really help me to keep it up too, and stuff. And I do learn a lot from all of you guys too, like the knockdown stitches. I had no idea about knockdown stitches till you guys started posting it on Facebook about what is it. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh, and it's the knockdown stitches that I used for Mello's thing, and it came out really nice. And I'm like, oh, I never would have thought about that. So, just like I teach you guys teach me as well. And I really love that. So I really hope this channel continues to grow. And I hope that, more people join in and we all learn from each other and stuff. So I'm going to say good night. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And like I said, need help or whatever, just reach out. I'm here to help, help out any way I can. I'm really happy for you guys that have gotten your machines, that are loving it and having fun with it. Just keep it up, keep smiling, stay happy, stay healthy out there, and stuff. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you guys next week. And I will continue to post more videos as I make more products out there. Okay, so you guys have a great one. Love you guys. Be safe. Bye-bye. Have a good night.